Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
We're through with the examination in chief.
Oh, yeah, through. Okay. Mr. Mgomezulu, any cross?
Court pleases, my lord. Before we start with the business of the day, may I just ask you to explain the difference between translation due to your experience. Translation as opposed to interpretation.
Okay. With interpretation, my lord, what we do is you convey the idea intended by the speaker.
Uma ke utolika dlulisa lokho ke okuhloswe iloyo osibe ekhuluma.
And with translation, you take it word for word.
Futhi ke uma khulunywa ke nge-translation ke ila uthatha ke igama ngegama.
And translation is mostly done on documents.
Futhi ke uma khulunywa ke ngo-translator ila khulunywa khona ke ngephepha lokho kufanele kubhalwe phansi.
So in relation, sorry, I'll afford you that. In relation to what we've just said about translation and documents, does that also relate to the pro forma that was completed?
The translation of documents, I did not get the question clearly, sir.
So if you define translation as when you translate from word to word, and you further mentioned about documents, so do you also refer to the document that is we are dealing with at the moment?
In this instance?
Yes.
No, my lord. In this case, because there's a speaker, my job is to basically convey the idea intended by the speaker, to interpret, not to translate what the speaker says.
Lana ke kuleni document esikhuluma ngayo ke manje akuseyona ke i-translation esiyenza ngoba kunomuntu okhulumayo yila udlulisa khona ke lokho okuhloswe ilo okhulumayo akuseyona ke manje utranslate kodwa ke ukutolika.
So during the process of interpreting, from the experience that you have you not picked up a sentence or a paragraph that is susceptible to two meanings?
Yes, I have, my lord.
Yebo kuyiqiniso ke ukuthi ke ekusebenzeni kwami ke uyathola noma ke uyayithola ke isentence ke la ongasho khona ke ukuthi usho okubili.
What is your role as an interpreter in the event that there is ambiguity or there is double meaning on that particular sentence?
As an interpreter, my role would be to get clarity from the speaker, and in so doing, I would obviously ask for the court's indulgence to allow me to clarify from the speaker what they intend saying.
Nanje ngotolika ke okwami la khona ke uzwayo ukuthi lokho awunaso isiqiniseko kusho ukuthini, kungasho lokho kungasho nalokho. Ngiyabuza ke noma ngicele ke angichazele lona kodwa ngaphambili kokuthi ngikwenzeke lokho ngikhulumisana ke naye ke umehluleki noma ke imantshi ngithi ke inginikeze imvume yokuthi ke ngicele lana ukuthi ngichazele ukuthi kusho ukuthini lokho.
I beg leave to the Honorable Court for you to read from the statement. It says certificate of interpreter. Can we go to that page, please?
Certainly.
Certificate of interpreter.
Yes.
Can you please, all right, before I ask a question on this aspect, the content of this wording or what is contained in your certificate, has it been explained to the deponent? Did you explain it to the deponent before you attached your signature?
No, my lord.
Lokho okubhalwe lana ukuthi ke manje mina ngoma lokho ubhale certificate saye utolika akusona ke into engichazile kuyena lona benza statement ngaphandle kokuthi ngaphambi kokuthi ngiyisign.
Do you have the reason why you did not explain it to him?
I do not.
Isizathu sokuthi ngakwenzanga lokho anginaso.
So, was it important for you to explain it? Or was it an omission on your part to explain it?
No, my lord, because I have never had to explain the contents of the certificate to the deponent or anybody for that matter.
Ngoba akaze ke ngaphambilini sibe khona ke isidingo noma kwenzeke ukuthi le ndawo lena ke la uthi khona ke i-certificate sayo ke i-interpret noma utolika ukuthi kufanele ngiyitolike kuyo ke owenza i-statement.
From your observation, when you appended your signature on this certificate, did it come to your attention or did it come to your mind as to whether the deponent might be curious as to what you are signing?
If I may ask, my lord, is it only with regards to the certificate?
In regards to the certificate?
No, my lord.
Mina ke kaze kube yonto ke kuyinto efikayo ke ukuthi mhlasimpe ke angafisa ukuthi azike ukuthi yini le ndawo engiyisayindayo.
So the certificate, the person who's making a certificate, okay, sorry, may I rephrase like this? The person that you were engaged to render such services, you were to to translate or to interpret what the deponent had to say. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Lana ke kwakuwukuthi mina ke ngindlulisa lokho okushiwo ilona owenza ke istatement lesi.
Okay. May I ask you to read again the certificate of interpreter, then and ask you to translate it in Zulu for the benefit of accused number 2.
I, Evelyn Tsepiso Motlhaping, certify that in terms of Section 217 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 as amended, I have interpreted truly and correctly and to the best of my ability with regard to both the contents of this statement and everything said by the magistrate.
Can you translate that in Zulu, please?
Translate or interpret it in
Or
Zulu?
interpret it for me, please.
Okay, mina Evelyn Tsepiso Motlhaping ngiyaqinisekisa ukuthi ke ngokomthetho isection 217 Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 njengoba iguquliwe ngitolike ngokweqiniso kanti futhi ngitolike okweqiniso nangakho konke okusemandleni ami noma ke yes nangakho konke okusemandleni ami mayelana ke nako kokubili okubhaliwe kule statement kanye nako konke okukhulunywe imanje.
Okay. So, in other words, according to your understanding, this certificate, to your satisfaction, because I've noted that the statement that has been made by the magistrate, can you give clarity to that?
No, my lord. It says here with regards to.
Can you read it again if you don't understand? There's
Okay.
something you mentioned about the statement.
Can I read the whole statement or just that part?
Okay. May I ask the indulgence of the courts for all the parties to understand?
Okay.
Yes, to
All right.
read the whole
Statement again.
Statement
okay,
again.
Sure. The certificate rather. Okay.
Maybe, sorry, my lord, maybe I'll stop you somewhere where it makes sense or relevance for the question.
Okay.
For the?
Where it makes sense or relevant for the question, my lord.
I see.
Can I just go through the interpretation thereof, my lord, or should I read in English first and
No,
then
read it in English.
Okay.
Please forget about Zulu now. Ne?
Okay.
Just English.
All right.
Yeah.
I, Evelyn Tsepiso Motlhaping, certify that in terms of Section 217 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 as amended, I have interpreted truly and correctly and to the best of my ability with regards to both the contents of this statement.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me stop there. The contents of the statement. Did you underline that?
Yes.
All right. Then we'll proceed further.
Okay.
I just wanted you to note that you said the contents
Of the
the statement.
Okay.
Thank you. Proceed.
And everything said by the magistrate.
Yes, and everything said by the magistrate. In other words, I'm subject to correction. You said to the satisfaction of the contents of the statement. Is that correct?
To the satisfaction of the statement, no, sir.
To the satisfaction of the contents of the statement.
I have interpreted truly and correctly and to the best of my ability with regards
With regards,
to
yes.
both the contents of this statement and everything said by the magistrate.
Lana ke ithi ke ngitolike kahle ke futhi nangeqiniso mayela ke mayela naloku okubhaliwe kusona istatement kanye nako konke okushiwo yimanje.
Okay. Was the statement according to that interpretation made by the magistrate?
No, please.
No.
No, wait.
May,
Now, let's read the Criminal Procedure Act first, 217. Because as I understand this certificate is enjoining the interpreter in terms of the act. And when it says statement, it means after everything which has been said and done by the magistrate, which he alleges she has interpreted, and then she signs the certificate after everything has been done, not before. Okay, that's how I understand this.
my lord, I have a different understanding.
Why don't we read where they talk about the powers which enjoin her to interpret?
I beg your pardon?
An interpreter. Who appoints an interpreter? Who appoints an interpreter? As I recall, it's in terms of the legislation.
That's correct.
That's it. Let's read that first. Otherwise, we'll be here the whole day. Let's read the enabling statute which appoints her. And then we can decide whether she has complied or not. You want us to adjourn, sir?
We can adjourn, my lord, but may I clarify this aspect? I'm not contesting the appointment per se. I'm not contesting the compliance
What are
with
you
the attachment.
What are you contesting?
I'm concerned about the interpretation of the last, especially where she says with regards to the contents of the statement made by the magistrate. That's where my concern is, my lord. Not about her appointment. If we read it carefully, we can have, because
No, you're misreading it. I certify, in terms of section 2117 of the Criminal Procedure Act 5177 as amended, I have truly and correctly and to the best of my ability, with regard to both the contents of this statement and everything that was said by the magistrate.
the contents.
Yeah, that's what the certificate says. Both.
The understanding, she will differ with me if I put it like this. According to my understanding, I'm putting to you that the certificate was supposed to say with regards to the contents, both the contents and of the of the deponent or of the person who was taking a confession. Was I wrong if I say instead of being a magistrate we say the deponent? Was I wrong by saying that?
I think, as far as I can understand your question, sir,
Yes.
with regards to this sentence, it doesn't refer to the contents of the statement being made by the magistrate. It just refers to the contents of the statement and everything else said by the magistrate.
Uma
Okay.
ngifunda lana ke lana akukhulumi ngestatement esenziwa yimanje. Sithi lana ke lokhu okubhaliwe kusona istatement kanye nako konke okushiwo yimanje.
Okay, thank you for that answer.
You're welcome, sir.
Then let's get into paragraph 1A. You said it has been explained or it has been interpreted to the deponent. Paragraph 1A.
That is correct.
Can you read it for me, please?
I am a magistrate and that I am not in any way involved in the investigation against him, that I do not work with the police or any other person in this case, and that he can speak freely and without fear in my presence.
Lana ke u1A uthi ngiyimanje futhi ke angiyimbandakanyeki ke kuphenyo ngakwena noma kuloko okuphenywa ngakwena futhi ke angisebenzi namaphoyisa noma yimuphi umuntu okuleli cala leli, nokuthi ke ungakhuluma ngokukhululekile futhi ke ungesabi phambi kwami noma ngikhona.
All right. Being an interpreter, if you interpret such a statement, does it not have elements of a promise? Reread it if you want to.
I'm a magistrate and that I am not in any way involved in the investigation against him, that I do not work with the police or any other person in this case, and that he can speak freely and without fear in my presence.
As a communist, I don't know if it needs to be asked for an opinion, which I think it's irrelevant.
Yeah, because
IGT is just to
can you get
interpret.
us the Magistrates Court Act, please? Where they tell us when and how is an interpreter appointed? There's a section there, is that not?
32 of 1954.
Let's read it.
Which is not critical to
You have it, sir.
It's quickly before.
No, I wanted to clarify clarity in terms of that because what doesn't contain is the understanding because she said if nine that's what she said. Should we adjourn?
It's from my colleague will show it there and we.
Oh, you wanted to?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll go through it. The closest we can get to is section 112.
What does it say?
Section 112.
Sorry, my lord, just to assist, can you tell us basically what we can just adjourn for a few minutes? We'll get it and then we can blame it.
Yeah, you are the principal interpreter in this court. You should know how and when and why you were appointed, Mr. Jonas.
Hence I'm requesting to
You want us to adjourn?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Chair. Of course, talks about certification.
Yeah,
Okay, I found an authority here which will cut across everything. This is the case of S. It's to everybody. S versus Kimbani. 1979, 16th March. Klute, JP, and Kanemeya. It talks about criminal procedure evidence interpreted. Direct evidence of an interpreter thereby recorded. No need to call the interpreter to confirm what he interpreted. If correctly recorded, prima facie proof referred to in section 35(1) of Act 1 of 5177 is elevated to proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So, in other words, in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, if this lady interpreted whatever, if it is recorded correctly, it becomes proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
My lord, may I make my submission?
Yes.
Yes, please. My lord, before I started the cross-examination, I inquired from the witness whether in the event there is ambiguity or double meaning
Yes.
attached to the sentence or a paragraph, what is her role
Yeah.
in that fashion? I'm not challenging the appointment.
No.
Yes,
That's
my
got
lord.
nothing to do with the appointment.
Yes, since she was engaged to interpret
Right.
the wording in the pro forma,
Right.
what was conveyed to the deponent.
Fine.
My question is, if relevant, is that not susceptible to two meanings according to her?
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
But you see what the law says here. It says if it is recorded prima facie, and subsequently it becomes proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So me and you can talk about it. When an interpreter tells the court what a witness is saying, then it is the direct evidence of the interpreter and not the hearsay evidence of the witness which is being recorded. And if correctly recorded, the prima facie proof referred to in section 235(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 is now elevated to proof beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, you can go on.
My lord, may I not insist on,
No, go
on
on.
that particular
Go
question?
Go on the way you wanted to go on. I was just saying, this is what the authorities say.
All right. Sorry, ma'am, can you please, for the
Just to have an objection, just to appreciate that we don't have interpreters.
Oh, at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. Jonas has gone to look for the law, which is elusive. So, Mr. Baloyi, what did you find? You said that's the nearest you could come to. What was it?
Well, it's just procedural issues like that the interpreter must take an oath and
No. Yeah, and then after that he's certified, after being trained.
yes,
Is that not so?
yes,
That he's duly appointed as an interpreter of the court,
yes.
right? And thereafter?
And the utilization of the court interpreter as a court official. Section 6 of the Magistrate Court Act mentions subsection 2 if in a criminal case evidence is given in a language with which the accused is not, in the opinion of the court, sufficiently conversant, a competent interpreter shall be called by the court in order to translate such evidence into a language with which the accused professes or appears to the court to be sufficiently conversant. Irrespective of whether the language in which the evidence is given is one of the official languages or of whether the representative of the accused is conversant with the language used in the evidence or not. As I say, these are just merely
Were you aware of this decision? The one I've just read. Kembani.
procedural matters. Not in those exact
Okay.
exact
Yeah, fine, fine. Yes, Mr. Jonas.
Apologies for that, my lord.
Have you found something?
Everything is done under pressure, not as in complete, because I had to go to the library and wait for them, so.
But you
it
must
is-
leave whatever you found to Mr. Baloyi, not me. Because me, I've already found the answer. Can't you see? Yes, educators.
Well, the research that Mr. Jonas has embarked upon has delivered the following.
Yeah.
It's referring to section 35,
Yes.
subsection 3 of the Constitution,
Yes.
and subsection K, so it's 35(3) K, which encompasses the fair trial rights of the accused to be tried in cases to be tried in a language that the accused person understands, or if that is not practicable, to have the proceedings interpreted in that in that language. Then it's also given us the a booklet and this booklet refers to the official languages. And I think that is basically all.
That's all, yeah. No, fine. Yes. Mr. Mgomezeli, you can go on.
Thank you. Mano, I
On
want
the
to go-
basis that you wanted to go on. Don't say I've cramped your style.
May when, especially when I ask you about a situation where there are two meanings that may be attached on, in relation to this paragraph, did you not encounter a double meaning to be attached on this particular paragraph?
No, my lord.
Ukuthi ke le paragraph ibifundiwe ke la echaza khona ke ukuthi ngiwumantshi angibandakanyeki kuphenyo angisebenzi namaphoyisa nokuthi ngakhuluma ukhululekile angikubonanga kusho okubili lokho mina.
All right. The last question. I'll take you back to the certificate again. Just your opinion, especially as the person who attached the signature. Was it not necessary to say a statement and whatever that has been said by the magistrate and the deponent? Was it not necessary to include the deponent because you were translating for both of them?
Well, I cannot comment on that, my lord, because this is a standard form. So I'm in no position to decipher or say what it should and what it should not have said.
Ukuthi ke iform lena kufanele ithini ingathini kufakweni kungafakwa ini akuminake ukuthi ngasho lokho ngoba ke iphuma ikanjena ke mina ngithola ingale ndlela ibhalwe lokho kubhaliwe la.
I thank you, my lord. No further questions.
Thanks. Mr. Mnisi,
No question.
no wisdom coming from you. Okay, Mr. Ngumalo,
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. Chololo.
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. So, you've done your re-examination.
We have no re-examination.
You have no re-examination. It's Miss
Motlhaping.
Mutlapine.
That is correct.
You say you've been an interpreter for how many years? Both in the regional and district. 20?
Plus minus 25 years.
25
Going
years.
to 26 in December.
And you're a-
Ngiya-25 ngiya ku-26 ngoDisemba ngiyutolika.
And you're a senior,
Principal.
you're a
art
principal.
interpreter. That is correct, my lord.
Do you write exams to be a senior principal interpreter?
No.
It's just based on,
We go through an interview.
that's it. Who
Yes.
interviews you?
A panel consists of other principal interpreters,
Right,
cluster managers,
right.
Court manager.
and as well as court managers.
Court
yes.
managers.
Okay. Interview ke lena ke kuba u-court manager okhona, ama-cluster ke, i-cluster yilona ke i-principal e-reporta kuyena, kanye futhi namanye ke ama-principals abakuyona ke kuleyo panel leyo.
Has your interpretation ever been taken on appeal? Basically, you being accused of not having interpreted correctly
Not at all.
what
my lord.
a particular witness could
Not
have
at
said.
all.
Never, never, never.
Not at all.
Akaze kwenzeke ke ukuthi ke la engitolike khona ke ukuthi ke lindluliswe ke noma la kuqala noma ke ukutolika kwami ke kuyo appeal ukuthi cha angikaze ngitolike ngendlela ekuyiyona.
Yeah, just for your information, because I found a case where actually here an interpreter, this case was in 1979, it was reported in 1979. Apparently this interpreter was accused of having misinterpreted something because they didn't quote what he allegedly said and what counsel for the accused was contesting. And they just quote here, they say, in the Eastern case, it is clear that the accused is Xhosa speaking and that he made a statement, that is Exhibit A, like here in our case, in the language that it was translated into English. It is also clear that he gave evidence in the criminal trial in Xhosa. That his evidence was translated into English, in which language it was recorded. Right? Then this is what the two judges say. It was a review. When the matter came before me on review, I caused the following query to be sent to the magistrate. By reason of section 235 of Act 51 of 77, the certified copy of case RC 54/78 is admissible as prima facie proof that the matter purported to be recorded there was correctly recorded. However, in the case, the accused the accused gave evidence in Xhosa, which is interpreted into English, in which language it was recorded. It was not necessary to call the interpreter to prove that that evidence was correctly interpreted. And the ratio which is elicited in this case is that when an interpreter tells the court what a witness is saying, then it is direct evidence of the interpreter and not the hearsay evidence of the witness which is being recorded. And if recorded correctly, the prima facie proof referred to in section 235(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 77 is now elevated to proof beyond reasonable doubt. That's what the law says, not me.
Ufunda icala ke athi yila echaza khona ke ukuthi uma kunobufakazi obethulwayo ukuthi ubufakazi obuqoshwayo noma obuthathwayo ke akusibona lo bufakazi obushiwo uyena lo ofakazayo, kodwa lokhu okushiwo utolika bese kuyathatha kuba ubona ke ubufakazi obubekwa ke noma omamukelekayo noma oburekhodwayo ke ngaphambi kwayo inkantolo.
Right, one other aspect for my clarification. Ms. Cronje testified that the interview took about 3 hours. That is,
It is possible, my lord.
and were you present from the beginning up to the end, or was there a stage when the interview was stopped and maybe you went to bathroom, whatever?
No, my lord. We ran throughout that whole period.
Throughout.
Nobody requested a bathroom break or anything. We just proceeded all the way.
Kungenzeka ukuthi manje kuba eshilo ke Miss Cronje ukuthi kwathatha amahora awu3 ukuthi lawo amahora awu3 kodwa akekho umuntu ngisho nami ke noyedwa owacelaka ukuthi ake kumiwe nje kancane ahambe ke aye ngasendlini encane noma ke aye ke ngase bathroom aqhubeka ngaso sonke leso sikhathi.
Was there any stage where Mr. Tanzi queried the presence of the alleged legal representative?
Not at all, my lord.
Never.
Never.
Asikho nje isikhathi nakancane noma nesisodwa la ke umnumzana uNtanzi aba nenkinga ke nalo yamlisa owaye athi ummeli ukuthi ubukhona bakhe ukhona lapho ngani akazi kwenzeke lokho.
Okay, any questions arising?
None.
None.
None is
Yes, sir. None.
No questions, my lord.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
It's almost time for the long adjournment. Can we resume in at 2?
At 2. Okay, fine. 2 o'clock then.